we can actually have this as a hands-on session. So what you can do is you can just open up Tableau and you can connect your sample superstore data. Okay. In the meantime, I'll explain what is the type of the visualization that we are talking about. So first, let's see how to create a bump chart. Okay. So this concept of bump chart was popularized by the Oxford University. It's widely used in sports. In fact, the very first usage of bump charts by Oxford University was used to show the rankings for the rowing teams. So I don't know if you have seen this movie called The Social Network, right, where they explain the origins of Facebook. So in that movie, in one of the scenes, this is shown actually, the boat races. So when different teams compete in the boat races, how does the ranking of a team change over time? So that is what this chart was created to show. But in today's scenario, this is used to show EPL rankings, the English Premier League rankings, and you can even use it in a business context. Okay, so let's see how the chart looks like. So this is how a bump chart looks like. Okay, so what I have done here is, so I have just connected to the sample superstore data, and we have regions, right? Central, East, South, and West. And I have ranked each region by the sales for each year. So from 2017 to 2020 for the 4 years, what is the sales rank of each region? So for example, if you see 2017, this rank 4 is taken by Central, rank 3 is taken by South, rank 2 East, and rank 1 West. And if you see just one particular region alone, Central, you can see that movement of that rank. So 2017 it was in rank 4, and then it came to rank 3, and it has stayed stable at rank 3. On the other hand, you can just compare this with the rank of West. In 2017 it ranked 1, and then 2018 it ranked 2, and it came back to rank 1 for 2019 and 2020. Okay, so let's see how to create this. I hope you connected to the data set. We will get started. Yes, yeah. All right. So it's quite simple. So what you do is, first one, you drag and drop the order date, or to be precise, the year of the order date onto columns. Okay, and you will have the sales. You just drop it onto rows. Okay, so now this is a simple trend line of where you get the year-on-year sales values. Okay, and we will just color this sales by region. You just drag and drop this region onto color, and then what you do is you add a quick table calculation for region, and here you just select rank. Okay, and this rank has to be computed by region, so you just click compute using, and you select region. So now you get this this pattern. Okay, now this is basically the lines that you see here, right? The paths traced by, let me just make this a bit bigger, it will be visible. Yeah, so what you see now on the graph is the paths traced by that ranking. So for example, you just compare this with what we have here. So this line, this is what we have obtained now, and what we need to do now is we just need to show the representation of that particular rank for that year. So it's just simple. It's we just make a duplicate of this sum of sales. You just put it here, and what you do is just click here, and you give a dual axis. And here what you do is, for the second sales parameter that we have duplicated over here, you just change the mark type to circle. Okay, right. So just to add to whatever I said, right? So this is, we have ranked regions by sales, and we are viewing the trend of the rank over time. Another scenario in which you can use this is, so for example, the project that Akhil and I are working on right now, we will have the revenue obtained by each sales rep for a particular company. Okay, so if you just rank the sales reps by the revenue obtained, then you can see the performance of the sales reps or the rankings of those sales reps over time. So this kind of visualization will help tell you whether that that person has performed consistently good or consistently poorly uh, when it comes to getting revenue for the company. Okay, so that is one other scenario where you could use this. So like this particular visualization has a wide range of uses. Okay, so that was on the bump chart. Now let's talk about the next visualization, which is the Pareto chart. Okay, so this Pareto chart is called Wilfredo Pareto. Okay, and this is based on something called as the Pareto principle, where we say 20% of X is responsible for 80% of Y. Okay, so the very first use of Pareto chart was, it sort of told us that 20% of the people in the world hold 80% of all the wealth. Okay, so in business scenario, this will be used in situations like so 20% of the products are responsible for 80% of the sales, stuff like that. And so in my previous company, when I was working in retail, we had a very huge list of products. Okay, so we had lakhs and lakhs of products which we were selling, but we had something called as a long tail. Okay, so by long tail, what I mean is around 50 to 60% of the products, they will be the sales will be very, very low. Okay, there will only be a very small set of products, let's say 20% of the products, which will be responsible for the majority of the sales. Okay, so that so these kinds of scenarios, we use the Pareto chart to make the visualization. Okay, so yeah, like I said, so it's used in many fields, economics, sales, operations, etc. So in operations, one typical example will be, let's say you have a set of machines running in your factory, right? And you will it's natural that when you have an assembly line, you could have defective products from your assembly line. Okay, so in an operation scenario, this could possibly translate to 20% of the machines or 20% of the laborers contribute to 80% of the defective products. So this 20-80 rule, we can apply it in many fields. So now let's see how to create the Pareto chart in Tableau. So again, we will use the same sample superstore data, and this is how the Pareto chart looks like. Okay, so on the x-axis we have the different subcategories, so phones, shared storage, so like that we have different subcategories, and on the y-axis we have the sales. Okay, but where does this come from? Because you see here you have a bars which represent the sales, and then you have a line or a curve which represents the percentage of running total of the sum of sales. Okay, but what does this exactly mean? I'll tell you. Yeah, so for simplicity, I've just created a small pivot table based on that same sample superstore data. So we have all the subcategories here, and we have the sum of sales over here. Okay, and here what we have is the share of the sales. So sales for phones as a percentage of the total sales is 14%. Sales for chairs is 14%. Sales for storage is 10%, like that. Okay, so all this totals up to 100%. And then I have calculated something called as the cumulative share. So that is nothing but phones alone contributes to 14% of the sales. Okay, now phones and chairs together contribute to 29% of the sales. So maybe I'll just increase the decimal here a bit. It will be, yeah. So phones contributes to 14.4% of the sales. Phones plus chairs contributes to 14.3% of the sales. Contributes to 28.7% of the sales. So 14.4 plus 14.3. So like that, at the end you have this fasteners, which means all of the subcategories contribute to 100% of the sales. So this is just the cumulative percentage. Okay, and this particular line that you see here on the graph, right? So this is the representation of that cumulative share. So for example, we saw that fasteners is the last category, right? And it contributes to 100%. So the point where this line touches the 100% will be the fasteners. Okay, and then how does the Pareto principle apply over here? For that, So just see where is your 80%. Okay, so here we don't have an exact 80%, but the closest thing that we have is this 78.3%, almost 80%, right? And this is contributed by all subcategories from phones to copiers. So this is basically 8 subcategories out of a total of 17 subcategories. So that 8 by 17, 47% of the subcategories contribute to approximately 80% of the sales. Okay, and this is what you get here as well. So you have your 80% over here, and so until copiers you have 78%, and after that you have 83%. So if you take it what is closer to 80%, then I would say it is copiers. Okay, so this is how you get your Pareto or apply your Pareto principle using the Pareto chart. Now let's look at how to create this particular chart. So I will just open up a new sheet. I will use the same sample superstore data. Okay, and the first step that we will do is we will drag and drop the subcategory onto the columns. Okay, and then next step is we will drag and drop the sales onto the rows. Okay, and then this is very important. What we do is we sort the subcategories in the descending order of the sales. Okay, some people tend to miss this step, but please remember that once you have your dimensional measure, you sort the dimensions in the descending order of the measure. Okay, and then what you do is you just create a duplicate of this same sum of sales, and so this is basically this particular column that you have in your Excel, this sum of sales. Now we need this cumulative percentage. Okay, so for that we will use a table calculation. You just click here and go to quick table calculation and click running total. Okay, for sake of clarity, I will just change the mark type to line. Okay, everybody with me so far? Any questions until now?
No, sir. All good from my side.
Right. Yeah, no question from my side.
Okay. I have a question here. Was this also covered in any of the previous sessions, or is this something new to everyone?
Yeah, it's new.
Okay.
A good question, Sai.
Yeah. Okay. Where was I? Yeah. So the first table calculation that we are doing is a running total, right? So we click the running total from quick table calculation, all right? And then what we do is we add a secondary calculation to this existing calculation. Okay, so what you do is you just click here, and then you click edit table calculation. Okay, and then you click add secondary calculation. All right, and here you have to select what is the type of that secondary calculation, and here you select percent of total. Okay, so why do we do this? This is because, see, the first thing that we gave was the running total, right? So running total is nothing but it will just total this and then this plus this. So this is your running total. But then what we actually need is this 14.4%, 28.7%. This is what we actually need to display on that line, right? So we add a secondary calculation which displays this running total in a percentage format. So for that we add a secondary calculation where we select percent of total as the secondary calculation type. Okay, and you just click select percentage of total from secondary calculation. You can close this. Okay, so if you just see here, see now you have bookcases that says 83.31%, which is nothing but the same value you have here for bookcases. This 83.3%. This is what you have. The remaining steps are pretty much simple. What you do is you just click here and you click a dual axis, and okay, we see that this mark type has changed. So I will just go back here. I will select bar. Okay. So now you have the bars which represent the sales values, and then you have this line which represents the cumulative total as a percentage. Okay. So if I am to apply my Pareto principle, I will just see where is my 80% mark. My 80% mark is over here. So this is 83% and 78% is closer to 80%. So I will say, until copiers, these categories make up almost 80% of my sales. So this is how you get a Pareto chart in Tableau.